I swear I am not playing with the controller. Something's wrong with my audio there, but that's okay. Hey everybody, it's your good friend Pozzible here, and I'm back again with another madcap review of the next Max Payne, Max Payne 3. This picture looked huge when I downloaded it, but of course then it became a thumbnail, so I don't understand why that happened, but it's a little hazy, but that's okay. It really describes the game very well. Max Payne 3, after a 9-year absence, Max Payne has returned to us. We've all been so excited, and personally, I was very, very disappointed. When it comes to Max Payne 3, they just decided to create a whole new game. It's one of those things where you go to watch a historical drama type of thing, and it turns out they just changed everything about the history. It's like, no, that's not what happened, guys. And it's like, no, this is not really Max Payne. It is Max Payne, don't get me wrong. The character is there. You've got a guy who's basically washed up as a man and as a series. So what's wrong with Max Payne 3 exactly? Well, first off, it is a lot of the same. Running and shooting. No big deal there. That's why we love the series. One thing they do give you, though, and I have to admit, I was a little bit of a baby. I played it on easy first, just because it's been a while since I played, and I was getting used to the controls, and it was really difficult to get used to the controls. I had trouble aiming and shooting, even though I was on the hard aim, which basically meant, I learned this a little too late, all I had to do was squeeze my left trigger. It would aim for me. Sometimes it would aim and it would hit nothing but like a bar stool or something. But so it didn't aim very well. But what do you expect? This guy is washed up. He's a drunk. He's an alcoholic. He's addicted to painkillers, and you see that often, more and more. You know. So you basically have a guy who is at the end of the rope, and he just lost all caring in the world, doesn't worry about anything anymore, doesn't care about anything anymore. He left the NYPD some time back. Now the movie, the story takes place again. It's narrated, but it doesn't have the same graphic novel. All it is him talking, which is nothing wrong with that, but I miss the graphic novel cutscenes parts, with the bubbles. Those, I like those parts, you know. They took that away, and they gave us something else that was really, really annoying. Because we're in Max's world, Max is addicted to painkillers, so the world is hazy to him. Every once in a while, he'll see triple. Every once in a while, the things will flash by, and granted, he's not exactly in a quiet, Zen-like neighborhood. He's in a dance club wherever the music is blaring and lights are flashing. It's really messing with his head. But it gets old, and it's annoying. I understand why they're doing it, but I didn't like it. That said, Max Payne has gone from a police cop, but thanks to a friend of his, he now has a new purpose, sort of, being a guardian for a whole bunch of people. And, imagine, they did bring up a great point during one of the missions, where basically he said he's a washed up guy, and he's like, look, we're all washed up something. I'm also a washed up cop. That was his friend talking. We're all ex something. A lot of bodyguards are ex-military, ex-cops, ex-something. And washed up is their middle name, I guess, is what they're trying to say. They're in, South America. I'm not going to say Brazil. I don't know if this is a real place, but I'll tell you one thing. It's a violent place, full of gangs, full of shooting. The cops are no better than the gangs in their own way. They just wear badges, And there is a part where Max has got to start shooting at the cops. It's hard to imagine there was anybody left after this. After this game, I have to admit, I did earn the medal of killing over 2,500 people, So, the population went down a little bit. My biggest problem was, it starts off okay, the story does. He has to he saves his boss at first, but then people just keep coming back, and eventually they fail. And, the boss's wife gets kidnapped. The boss himself gets killed. I was hoping Max would be blamed so that there would be, more excitement. But it picked up near the middle, but not enough to justify such a slow beginning, The worst part about it was in the beginning part, there's this one mission where you're finally going to go save the girl. You've been running around enough shooting people, but she gets away anyway. It's kind of like, what was the point of this long mission of saving the girl only to have her get away anyway? It made no sense. Eventually, like all of Max Payne's games, it ends kind of ambiguously, where you don't really get a clear definition of what was going on. But the one thing that was different about Max Payne 3 as opposed to the first two is that by now you really don't care. You don't you don't care about the big conspiracy about how the reason behind it. I won't reveal it here because that is part of the twist, if you want to call that, at the end. But Max Payne 3 was just not exciting enough. Didn't have the same umph. Didn't have the same, dark feeling. I mean, it was just running around shooting, which has gotten commonplace nowadays. It missed the oomph that the other ones had. Bullet time is still there. I used it a few times, jumped around if it got too much, but pretty much you can just run and gun, no big deal. Keep your health happy and learn the buttons. One thing that they did do right, and this is one thing I gotta give them a lot of credit for, you can get into what's called the arcade mode, where basically you replay a certain part of the mission and you do it to learn to shoot. You do it to learn how to play the game. It's a great addition. I liked it only because it taught me how to play. Once I really got how to play, I was like, oh, okay, that's how it works. That's when the game went by pretty well, but the story didn't save it like it normally did. I did like, Max's musings, and I do like his combat techniques. Not as smooth here as it was in the other games. And the gun play was also a little bit disturbing. Usually, you can play, you can handle all these guns. Here, you only have an option of 3, 2 smalls and 1 big, and that's it. That's all you get. Now you might say, but Pozzible, there's a 4th option on top. That option only lets you use both small guns if you want to. Okay, to make that happen. So, Max Payne 3, I'm actually going to give it a decide. I want to give it a pass, but you know what? Fans of the series should continue to try it. If you're not a fan of the series, don't bother. I mean, it kind of gets old and it kind of gets long. And this one, unlike the other episodes, this one had pointless missions. Like, you didn't understand why you went on that mission. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not just talking about, you're supposed to save the girl and keep the other guy safe, but it was just too disjointed. On the one hand, you're saving the girl. Oh, but now you're going to totally switch gears and save the boss. And it didn't come out as smooth as it usually does. So I was kind of disappointed by that. Max Payne 3 will be a decide. I hope if you play it, I hope you enjoyed it more than I did. If you don't, I hope you have fun regardless, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk to you later.